Today we're doing the king of all steak sandwiches.
Thin sliced marbled ribeye griddled to perfection.
Cheesy, beefy, and off the charts delicious.
After one bite, you're gonna want to ring that Liberty Bell and yell, "Bring on the cheesesteaks!"
That's right. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I tell you
Ring
what,
out that Liberty Bell.
I know, ring it out. We used to live right close to Philadelphia, and our favorite thing was to go in and get Philly cheesesteaks. And we've been working on trying to recreate them ourselves.
Yes.
We even did a video not too long ago, well, a few years ago. We've improved upon that. So, Philly friends, tell us what we do wrong, tell us what we do right, but we think we're pretty dang close.
We are.
So first, we've got our griddle going here. We've got our big outdoor griddle. If you don't have that, no worries. You can do it on an indoor griddle, or you can even do it in a nice large cast iron skillet.
Perfect.
So I've got my griddle nice and hot here. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I've got one kind of medium large onion that I have chopped.
Nice sizzle.
And we're doing ours wit onion. If you don't prefer onions, then you can do it wit out, as they say in Philly. But I think the onions, oh my gosh,
The onions add so much flavor.
when they get mixed in with the steak, they just melt into that steak, and they're so delicious. So
and what else is amazing?
So let's talk about the other super important
is cheese.
Cheese.
This is American cheese, American white cheese.
Yes.
And we use the Cooper brand, which has been around for like since the 1800s.
And it's I believe it's like the cheese of choice in Philadelphia.
And it is amazing.
It is really good, and when you buy it, they'll ship it to you. You get like a huge block of it.
Huge block.
We have our slicer that we love to play with. It's our new toy, and you can just slice your own cheese slices and have them for sandwiches and all. Any kind of white cheese, American white cheese will work.
Yes. Also, people use provolone, Cheez Whiz.
Those are the three most popular cheeses.
We love this cheese so much. And these buns. These are Amoroso buns, straight out of Philadelphia.
They're easy to order.
They're so good, and they get nice and chewy once we wrap them in this butcher paper. It gets just so. They're perfect.
They are. So, and
perfect.
if you don't order them, or you don't live near Philly, no worries. Any kind of soft hoagie bun will work.
Yeah.
You want kind of the soft ones, not the harder Italian style.
Right. You want a chewy bun.
Yeah. All right, Wesley, give those kind of a stir back there while we talk about the most important component of a cheesesteak.
Oh, Chris, these
And
look
our
good.
friends in Philly have always said, well, in Philly, we don't call them Philly cheesesteaks, we call them cheesesteaks. So we're going to call them cheesesteaks. Okay, this is ribeye. This is 16 ounces, and here come the dogs. 16 ounces of, I went to my butcher, and I asked him to cut me like a 3-pound piece of ribeye. That then we got out our big old Bestwood slicer, and I partially froze it, and then I just sliced it. I put it on the thinnest slice, the thinnest level as possible. You want it almost like paper thin, because then it's gonna cook, and you're gonna be able to kind of shred it a little bit. It is absolute perfection. But you can go to the store and just get a nice ribeye. Get a good thick one, freeze it for about 30-45 minutes, because that makes it easier to slice. And then if you don't have a slicer, you can just slice it thin with a very sharp knife, or go to your butcher and ask your butcher to slice it. Just make sure that he or she slices it nice and thin, because that does make a big difference.
We're opening up a deli with that slicer.
I know, I love it. I've got a link to it in case you want it. I mean, if you like to slice meat and you like to slice cheeses, it's a good investment. If you don't worry about it. Okay, those are going to go about 8 minutes. Those are looking good until they get nice and golden brown, and then we go on with the steak. Okay. Oh, these are smelling so good.
They look
You see,
great.
they're just kind of turning golden brown. You're not really caramelizing them. You're just cooking them until they're very tender, and
get them over just a little further off of that heat.
And so now we're going to scrape them off of the heat source. I don't have the heat on over here, and they'll get back into the party soon. Now comes the meat. So I'm going to add just a little squirt, not much, of a little oil, like maybe a teaspoon. And we're just going to add this in.
Oh, wow.
And you want to, there's so many theories on.
I just love the sound of that.
I know. And then the smell. There are obviously places all over Philadelphia that serve the best cheesesteaks in the world. There's the super popular one, Gino's and Pat's, that is all the tourists go to. The purists will go to other places, and there are a number
like
of
on
those.
6th Street.
Yeah,
Love
but there's in there, but there are different styles, even or different ways of preparing them, even with the tried and true ones. So we've been studying, and we feel like we're kind of doing the best of all of it.
That
So
is
now
looking good.
you're going to definitely want a couple of spatulas. You're going to want a big one like this because you'll see why when we get ready to flip it all together.
While he's doing that, I'm going to get these buns together. They're already pre-sliced, but I want to go a little further in because we're going to lay this flat on top of that meat on the griddle.
And I'm just
But I don't want to break it apart. But here, watch, I'll break it apart.
this method that I'm doing right here just kind of it shreds it. You don't really want to get like a knife and cut it. This just gives that classic flavor, that classic texture. Okay, now I'm going to start flipping it around, and so it's cooking evenly. You don't want to pile it too high on top of each other because the meat will also steam itself, which is perfect. It keeps it juicy on the inside and kind of crispy on the outside, which is perfect. But okay, this is looking good. All right, now we're going to bring in these onions.
Here come the onions.
Bring them back into the party. Get them.
Wow, and I'm standing by with the cheese.
Good, 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 as always. I would expect nothing less. Okay, now we're gonna let this, see, you're gonna do that with the meat until it's really just no longer pink. And that look and the smell is insane.
Come on, bring it all in.
Now we are going to break this into, this is always kind of takes a little bit of maneuvering.
Don't miss this guy over here.
But you wanna form two piles that are hopefully about the same. I usually give Wesley a little more. It's going to be about the length of your bun. So
that looks great.
doesn't that look good? Okay.
Tell me when I can come with the cheese.
Not yet. I got to hit it with a little salt and pepper.
Okay.
This is when we're going to season. Don't overdo it, but don't forget it because it is important. We got a little pepper here. Okay. Now we got 2 slices each of the white cheddar. You could also do the provolone if you're doing provolone. I believe is the way they would say it.
There we go.
Most times if you're going with Cheez Whiz, you don't add it until the sandwich comes together and it's done.
There we go.
So now we're gonna let this cheese just hang out. I'm gonna take my glove off now. Let that cheese hang out in there for about 25 to 30 seconds, and that steam.
That's so long, 30 seconds.
I know. Well, luckily we're good at talking.
Yeah.
But what that does is the steam just steams that meat, and it is so incredible.
Wow.
And it's getting the cheese nice and melty. So now what I'm going to do.
So good, Chris.
Sometimes folks they'll scoop it up into the bun like this. We like to work the cheese into the meat. So now I'm going to do that. And that cheese will start to melt.
I'm dying.
I know. It is something to behold, for sure.
And I'm getting ready for the paper roll.
Oh yeah, tell them about the paper.
So when we roll it in butcher paper, because what it'll do is it'll keep the sandwich nice and warm. First, steam from being wrapped will just like make this bun even more chewier and soft. And
people have tested like not wrapping it because in Philly they always wrap it because you're usually getting them to go or something. And a lot of times they wrap it in the butcher paper and then they'll also wrap it in foil. But folks started saying, I think wrapping it really does make a difference.
Wow.
So people were testing. And it really does. I mean, it makes the roll just perfect and better.
Chris, those look so good.
I know,
those are
great.
perfect.
Okay.
Tell me when to throw on my buns.
Let's put them on.
Okay.
Throw on your buns.
Here we go, right in the middle there.
Yep.
And then right here in the middle, and then I'm ready whenever you're ready.
Okay, this is always the fun part. But you just this is where you need the big spatula. And don't worry if a little falls to the side. In Philly, they're not going to care about that.
There we go.
And we're just going to
come on over. There we
flip
go.
this over.
Yes.
Isn't that beautiful?
Chris, that is great. My hands are clean. I've just been. Okay.
That is amazing.
And I am going to close this and wrap it. Wrap it up tight.
Okay, now you ready for the next one?
Yep, come on over. There we go.
Look at that.
Look at this. So I just wrap it.
Here, I got a little more meat for you here.
I'm wrapping it, and I'm going to tuck it in.
Good and cheesy.
Yep,
If you got any that fell off by the wayside, just add it back to the party.
Exactly. Okay, I got that wrapped. Ooh, wow, I like the crispy parts, Chris.
I do too.
Okay, and we're gonna wrap this one. Oh,
So the way you show me, you just
I'm
kind
gonna
of.
do it correctly this time.
Oh, you didn't do it correctly.
Oh, I forgot to tuck and roll.
Oh, well,
Okay.
got to tuck and roll. But anyway, you just want to roll it up
guys.
like you do a burrito, basically. So now we're going to let those hang out for just a couple minutes and let that steam do its business, and then we're
gonna eat it.
I got to say, of all the recipes we've done lately, this is the one I've been looking the most forward
Yes,
to. It is.
It is just a favorite.
When this sandwich is done right, it is just, even when it's sort of not done right, it's still good.
Yes. Okay, I'm dying already.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that is.
It just transforms, that bun just becomes, besides keeping it warm, it just,
Oh, you guys.
oh my
Look
goodness.
at that. Oh, Chris, here, let me grab that.
Okay, thank you.
Save that for the dogs.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. And that bun. I love how the cheese just is married to the onions and the beef. Okay.
You know, normally we might cut it in half.
Yeah.
But not today.
And this is did I say that was 16 ounces of beef? So we're eating a half pound of beef here. This is a lot.
All right, let's go in.
Let's go in. That is it. The city of brotherly love. Wow. Oh my goodness.
2 dogs down there.
That is mind blowing.
That is.
His dream come true.
I always, if there's a Philly cheesesteak on the menu, I will order it.
We will.
Oh, that is.
Uh-oh.
That's like a half a billion. Like, it's so good.
You heard it. You heard it here first, you guys. There are some simple, it's really not hard to make. There are just some simple steps that you got to follow, and you're going to have classic Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh, the onions, the cheese, the meat,
the bread,
the bun,
everything. All right, you guys, we hope you had as much fun as we did. We wish you were with us right now.
Yes.
But anyway, make Philly cheesesteaks or just cheesesteaks and be happy.
Yes.
Bye, everybody. We love you.